From the magic oasis in the desert where hot, arid sand gives way to splashing water and beautiful green fairways, the spectacular Marriott Desert Springs Resort and Spa, this is Buddy Shelton's Natural Swing Video, the perfect complement to what is unquestionably the world's finest golf club, the Fiber Speed 2000. So get ready as Buddy, along with LPGA Touring Pro Marlene Floyd, put your game into a new orbit. Here's Buddy.
Hi, I'm Buddy Shelton. Today I'm with Marlene Floyd, who is one of the LPGA Tour players and TV commentator. But better than that, she's one of the top teaching professionals for ladies in the country. We're going to do some things with you today that's going to teach you a simple and natural golf swing that's going to make this Fiber Speed 2000 work for you and make your game better, have more control, more power. The ladies?
The ladies are going to love this. They've all been looking for that 20 or 30 extra yards like the tour players have. We're going to teach them with the fundamentals how to turn through it and get that additional distance that they want.
So remember, and whether you're just beginning or you're advanced, we've got the secret for you. It's a natural golf swing, made simple. We're going to have some fun, so stick with us.
5 strokes. I took 5 strokes off my game.
Oh, man, what a club. This club is amazing. It blew my mind because I was able to drive the ball so great and so accurate. And I'll tell you, it's the best I've ever swung a club.
Okay, here we are with part one. First of all, we're going to talk about the Fiber Speed 2000. You've opened up the box and you pulled it out and you think, uh-oh, the shaft melted while it was in the mail. I know you're going to panic, and Marlene, this is probably a bad word, but some of them are thinking whippy.
I think the word flexible myself, but
That's
they
right.
will feel that.
Flexible is a better term. We know that the club is a little whippy, but this is the whole idea of the club. Let me explain a couple of things to you. Basically, we've got a shaft here that flexes more than any shaft that you've ever played with. This flex is going to give you extra distance and power on any shot you hit. The other thing that you're going to have a comment about is you're going to see some torque. They're going to see that head rotating, and you're going to feel it in your backswing. You got to remember that this torque is specially put into this club to absorb off-center hits. If you hit it with the club face closed, which would normally hook that ball a little bit, that absorption of that shaft is going to straighten that shot out a little bit. So instead of hitting it in the left rough, you'll be in the left fairway, just like on the right side. So Marlene, I think we've got a secret here. We've got a whippy shaft, which is flexible, right? And we got a little torque that's going to help them out. But now the important part, and that's swinging the Fiber Speed 2000 and some things you should know.
And now we break from our regular programming to bring you the special Buddy Shelton Fiber Speed 2000 update.
In my travels around the country to 80 to 100 cities, I entertain approximately 30,000 people. They love watching this fiberglass shaft do its job. It really hits the ball a long ways. The nice thing about it is I pull probably 1,000 of these people out of the gallery and let them try it. 90% of the time, I get the best results you've ever seen. They've hit the ball further than they've ever had, and they have more control on it. But I won't lie to you, I do get about 10% that have a problem with it. Maybe when they first pick it up, they just feel like the club's too whippy, and they've got a mental problem and they can't swing. But there's a couple of things that I do to those people that I get immediate results, and I straighten their game out, I get them further distance, and it's just a couple of little tips that I'm getting ready to share with you. So what I want to urge you to do, stick with me for a couple of minutes before we go into the natural swing video, and I want to show you a couple of little keys to hitting a fiberglass shaft.
Seems like every time I hit the ball, it slices to the right.
You won't believe how many times I've had that comment of that 10% that hits that shot. But let me show you something that caused that. That was not the fiberglass shaft. 2 reasons that the ball's going a little right on you. One is you're blocking it, and you're letting the heel lead through in a position that the face is staying open. The other one is in trying to release the club, we have taken it and thrown it outside, have come across the ball, and that puts a slice on it. So whether you hit it in the heel, leading wide open, or you've thrown it across it, both of them are going to give you a slice. What I do when I'm out there and I've got these 1,000 people there, very simple, is I show them the proper release of the golf club. And this is what I find that 90% of the people don't do. We've got a thing called the release. Now there's a club sitting there square to the ball. When that club's on your backswing, it goes into this position. It's kind of open. It's sitting up there open. And as it comes through, it squares up, and then it should roll over and go into a closed position. This is what keeps you from slicing the golf ball. Now, you can ruin that 2 ways. You can come down and block it by leading too much with the hand. Now you've got the face coming into the ball with the heel leading, wide open. It's going to go to the right. Some of you try to release too soon and not knowing what the release is, flip your wrist, throw it outside, come across it. Now we've sliced the ball by cutting across it. Let me show you how simple the release is. And this straightens out everybody that has the problem on the tee with me. First of all, I show them that there's the face of the club with your thumb straight up. On the backswing, your hand rolls open. As you come down into the ball, it rolls square, then it rolls shut. So this rolling motion is basically the release of the golf club. If I do it to the club, you'll see it. It rolls open, it squares up, it rolls closed. And if you'll do that, you won't have any more balls going to the right side and you throwing them clubs down on the ground. So remember that. Release the club properly. Do not try to guide it by guiding that heel through there, and just swing that club and rotate the toe right over the heel.
I feel the club's really great, but I'm just not getting that distance that I need. I'm hitting it the same as my other clubs.
Of course, the other comment I get is I'm not getting the distance that I normally would want, or maybe it's going the same as my regular driver, and I thought this fiberglass was going to do the trick. Well, let me tell you, the fiberglass does do the trick. There's still a flaw in the swing if you're not getting that extra distance. And basically, it comes in the release of the golf club again. When we pick up the fiberglass, the first thing we think of, with it being a little whippy and everything, we think that we're going to have to wait on the club head to get into the hitting area. So you stand in there and you take a backswing, and as you start down, the first thing that happens, and believe it or not, this is designed this way, the weight of this club head causes that club to flex. And while that club is flexed, you're swinging down into the hitting area. The perfect situation is for you to keep going and for that flex to straighten out right when it gets to the ball. But we're too nervous that the club's not going to get there at the same time we do. So as we start down, we get to this position, we're facing the ball, we think, now I better wait on the club head. So we slow our hands down, the body's stopped, all of a sudden the club pops loose, it's lost all its energy. Now when it gets to the ball, it's going slower than it started. The club, when it fires, will jump up to a speed of 100, 110 miles an hour. But if you let it fire back here and letting that shaft straighten out, when you get down here, it's going 85, 80, 75. A decelerating swing is not going to give you any distance. The only nice thing about it is it does keep enough speed in the club head to give you what you were getting with your old one. But we want that extra yardage. So to get the extra yardage, basically what we do is keep swinging, keep going into the hitting area, and stay in front of that club because it's getting ready to release, and it's going to beat you there. Don't let it beat you there. Don't wait on it. You might say something like, you know, I'm not doing that. But believe it or not, subconsciously, you're waiting on it because you've never picked a club up that wiggled like the fiberglass shaft does. So don't let the subconscious make you wait. You tell yourself, I'm not going to wait on it. I'm going to go ahead and give it the power, let it release, and pick up that extra 20 or 30 yards.
Seems like every time I hit, I don't know where the ball is going to go. Sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes left. I just don't feel like I have any consistency.
Now, occasionally I do get that comment that, maybe a phone call that says, I've got the club, buddy, and I'm just erratic. It's going left, it's going right, I'm topping it, not getting the distance. Even running people in the airport. Said, I really like the club, but I just can't hit it, and things are going bad. I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to blame it on you, but I have seen too much results with this fiberglass shaft of hitting the ball straighter and further for 90 to 95% of the people. If you're that erratic, unfortunately, you've got a couple of problems in your swing that need to be worked on. So I encourage you to continue with my tape here. Look at the natural swing video and pick out those fundamentals that we need to work on in your swing. If you've got bad fundamentals, you're going to be erratic. If you've got the same flaw over and over, now you're either going to slice the ball all the time or maybe not get that distance. But if it goes everywhere, then there's a swing flaw that's 2 or 3 each way. So let's get the fundamentals straight. Remember, don't let the whippiness of the shaft fool you. We've got a golf club here that is a new concept. I have proven it to myself because I've been playing this club for 6 years. This is not something new for me, but when I first picked it up, I thought maybe this might not work, but it did work. But I had to give it a chance, and I encourage you, give the club a chance, and you're going to see amazing results. I did not get this golf swing here from just hitting 2 golf balls and saying that the club was no good. When I hit a golf shot, That is a few buckets of golf balls practice and believing in this club. You believe in it, take it out there and swing it, hit a bucket of balls and give it a chance, and you're going to have that same shot. They'll be clapping for you, and you'll be collecting the money in the pro shop on Saturday afternoon. We appreciate you staying tuned for this emergency broadcast, and now we go back to the station for the regularly scheduled programming. Now, let's summarize it. So basically what we've got, the torque is going to take care of the off-center hits. And if you'll let this flex just react and you just step up there and swing it, that's the key. The swing is it, and it's very natural. Let the club do the work.
To me, it just feels like any part of the club I hit, I'm going to keep it straighter. Whereas before, if I hit it on the inside of the club, I would pull my old club, my old driver, to the left. If I hit it on the toe, I'll put it high right. But with this, I hit it on the inside, I hit it straighter, I might pull it down the left side of the fairway, but it's going to be a lot straighter.
The first experience for most people is they think the club may be too flexible for them, but they also have never felt the club head, so that's why it feels too flexible for them. But once they've hit it, they see the extra distance they get, and that's completely out of their mind at that time.
All right. Here we are with part two. We're going to take this natural swing that I've been working on for years, and with Marlene's help, we're going to make it so simple for you to play golf that you won't believe it. This is what's called a 30-second fix. I believe that anybody out there can take these natural concepts of a golf swing and play better within 30 seconds, and I promise you that and even guarantee it. So let me talk about a couple of things. You know, but first of all, I wish I had this tape, because for 20 years I struggled around playing the golf tour trying to work on a mechanical swing. I'd hit 500 balls a day, and I'm sure you've hit just as many, and out there trying to make everything mechanical. Then I realized it was natural, and all of a sudden things fell in place, and people that I shared it with started hitting the ball better and keeping it in play and getting more distance. So let me just show you a couple of things. Basically, the natural swing is simple. The grip, you just grip it naturally. You stand naturally where you're comfortable. You take a backswing that just swings the club around you in a comfortable fashion. And then you turn around and swing toward the hole, learning how to release your hands, and that's how simple it is. 30-second fix, and we're going to make you play better golf. So now stay with me. We're going to go over each point individually and show you how it works. So now we're going to talk about this simple and natural grip. Barry, my student here, who's a pretty decent golfer, he's got a low teen handicap, maybe 11 or 12. The first thing you're going to notice, this is not natural. The left hand is not facing the right hand. When you reach out and shake hands with people, that's a natural position of a hand. This hand is straight up and down, this hand is straight up and down. And when you put them together, the palms face each other, you slide them apart, and you've got a grip. That's how simple it is and how natural it is to grip a golf club. So in Barry's case, what I want to do is take the left hand, roll it back over a little bit, then bring the right hand so that the two palms face each other. So now we've got the hands that can work together. The problem of them not working together, if this one's turned this way and this one's this way, we got a hinge here, one going opposite to it. They do not work together. For the grip to work properly, Barry, both hands need to face each other so that they can rotate and all that.
How hard do you want me to grip the club?
Good question. How hard do you shake hands with somebody? If you shake hands with me, you're not trying to break my hand. You're just holding on. And it's a kind of firmness, but there's a naturalness to it. So here again, I go back to that natural thing. Shake hands with that club naturally, and it's going to be your friend.
Gotcha.
Okay? You know, the interesting thing, Marlene, what about the ladies? I think we might change it a little bit.
Well, Betty, we're real fortunate. We have Robin, a beginner, with us today. Now, Robin's just starting to play, so she doesn't have any bad habits yet, which she's very fortunate. Now, on the ladies' grips, as you'll notice, her left hand, it's in the palm of the hand. Almost 95% of the women make this mistake. It has to be in the fingers of the left hand so that we can get the hinging effect of the wrist. The right hand simply goes on, as Buddy said. Now you have the V of the right hand, the V of the left hand, facing anywhere from your right shoulder through your right chin so that they are working together like a clapping position. And now to summarize, we want the hand simply in a clapping position. Ladies, we've got to have that club in the fingers of the left hand. And the one thing I want to add that's going to give you that extra distance is a little stronger grip.
What do you mean by stronger?
Well, Robin, by stronger, I definitely don't mean a death grip. I mean just simply taking the right hand and rotating it to the right shoulder, and the left hand the same direction, rotated slightly to the right shoulder. If we have both fingers rotated straight up and down the shaft, it's pointed to your chin, it causes a little bit of a slice or a fade. When you take the hands off the club, not moving the club face, and rotate them towards the right shoulder, it makes it a lot easier to release the club with the hands and body. That's where you get that added distance. I just can't tell you how much this is going to benefit you with the proper grip and the proper release, which is going to give you, again, that added distance.
Now we're going to talk about that natural stance. This is the thing that probably gets me more than anything about the golf swing. It's very easy to be natural standing somewhere. But what most people do, if you watch a person, they'll walk up on the tee, and when they set that club down, all of a sudden, it starts getting into all this kind of stuff, and I'm not sure if that's real natural. So here's what I want to point out to you. Natural stance is this simple. The feet are about shoulder width apart, okay? Then we set the club down, we bend our knees. We flex at the knees so that there's some liquidity in the thing, so they'll work for you. Next thing we do, we bend over at the waist just slightly, and the key to the whole thing in the stance, be natural in the chest and the shoulder area. Let the arms hang. We're not trying to do this, and we're not trying to squeeze our neck or squeeze our shoulders. We're just standing here very natural, and all of a sudden you've got bent knees, bent at the waist, your arms are hanging, and you're very comfortable standing here. Marlene, what do you figure for the ladies?
Well, Buddy, I think the posture is terrific, what you said, but ladies have a tendency to get too narrow in the stance. They have their feet much too close together, and it gives them a very flippy, handsy swing. Ladies, we need the width of the feet exactly the width of your shoulders. You need the weight slightly on the insides of your feet, but definitely over your shoelaces. You need to be grounded. If you were going to punch somebody, you'd be grounded and you'd hit them this way. So you want your weight right over your shoelaces, shoulder width apart, so you get that added distance by the use of your legs.
You know, you brought that up about the ladies standing too close. Men seem to think their shoulders about this wide. So we get the men standing out here this way.
Exactly.
So the men, you need to watch that too. Be natural and get those feet back under your shoulders again. And like I say, I'm not going to use this word natural but 500 times today. The natural part is think of the other sports. If you're playing tennis, you stand in this fashion waiting on the serve. If you're a quarterback on a football team, you stand this way behind center. If you're a basketball player, you're standing there guarding somebody this way. Football player that's waiting on the guy to run through the line, the linebacker's standing this way. Golfers, stand this way. You know, let's get it all together. Let's be natural, walk up there, set that club down, flex knees, flex at the waist, arms hanging, very natural. You're ready to play. So the benefits of the natural stance is basically if you can stand in this position, it's going to make the swing be fluid and flow and all together. But if you can't stand comfortably, you're not going to swing. So let's go to another step. Now we're ready for that natural backswing. You know what the key word is here? Backswing. Most people, when they think of a backswing, they think of picking the club up and putting it back here somehow or another. Backswing is just what it's called. You take the club and you swing it over your back. Now to do that, a couple of things you got to remember. One is let the entire body work for you. As I take this club and swing it back and over my back and back into this around me position, I let my hips turn, my knees kind of torque a little bit, my shoulders turn, and I've got my back to the hole. So basically, I'm up here cocked and ready to go. Now, Marlene, I know the ladies sometimes have a little problem with that backswing.
Buddy, they do. And what ladies tend to do here is ladies let their hips and shoulders work around in a circle, and they cock their hands this way. And the ladies just need to feel the resistance in the right leg and let the whole chest and arms, as you said, move backwards with some resistance here. Resistance is the way you get power.
Yeah, and guys, you know, the guys will take and they'll turn their hips and hold them pretty tight and let your shoulders turn, where like the lady, she doesn't get the hip resistance in there so that you're coiled like a spring. You want to feel like you're coiled like a spring. And one of the key things is think around. And what I want to do here, I'm going to bring Barry back in. Barry, come back over, and let's show him one of the key flaws of a backswing. I probably see this happen more than anything in all my students. Take a backswing and stop at the top. Now, what happens is people have been taught all their life to take the club straight back.
Yep.
When you do that, it puts the club up here over your head, and the easiest place to go from here is over the top, cutting across the ball, going to make you slice it or pull it, according to what your hands do. So basically, what we want is around. Remember, the key word in the backswing is around. So as we start back, we go around the body, and we set it up back in here over this right shoulder and over our back. This makes you have a better shoulder turn. It moves your weight over onto your right leg. It coils the whole body so that now you get that spring effect of releasing everything. So here it is. One more time, we go back as it goes around and up. It's not back and up. It is back and around. And it's set there, and we're ready. The key to this thing is if you get in this position, you're going to uncoil. It's going to give you more power. You're going to uncoil, and the club's going to be in position to keep you from slicing and pushing that ball or even topping it.
Do all that.
That's it. So let's go to the next step. Well, we've gone through a lot, and we've got you ready to hit the golf ball. Marlene, the neat thing about it is we've got the grip, we've got the stance, we've got the backswing. The person sitting there ready to release it and unload. So why don't we go to that follow-through, and maybe you want to bring your student in?
I do. Let's bring Robin back in. Now, Robin, remember, we're going to make a nice backswing where we're going to coil you up, swing the club up over your back. Now, the ladies, we want to feel, go ahead, Robin, we're going to feel some resistance in that right leg. Now, from there, on the downswing, the power move is to take the right foot, the right knee, the right hip, and this entire chest, and turn as quickly as you can to your target. Go. Now remember, you'd still want to be in your posture, and you want your arms a little soft. This is not real tight. Robin is a beginner, and she's learning the proper technique from the beginning. Let's do it one more time, Robin. Again, we want to coil up over our right leg. You can see she's coiled. She's got a little tension in her right leg. From here, Robin, we take the right foot, the right knee, the right hip, and your whole chest, and you push and swing to the target. And then you have a nice and balanced follow-through, a little better in the posture. There you go. Now, buddy, that's a good swing.
That looked great, Marlene. Let me mention a couple of things while we're standing here, because I think it's very important. We've talked about men and ladies a couple of times in this thing, and you can see that we've got some differences. One of the things men do in the follow-through is when they start down, they will swing their arms through and leave all this behind. And just like Marlene demonstrated with Robin here, it's very important that in this follow-through that we take the right knee, the right foot, the right hip, and everything, and turn it into the shot. So that now when we're standing here, there's nothing back this way. Everything is looking right down that fairway where that ball's traveling to. So that is one of the key things to a natural swing, because it's very natural to swing here and not to swing there and leave everything back. Now, we'll make one more comment that's very important. I think people leave things back because they're concentrating on the ball. When I go from backswing to follow-through, the natural thing is to do it all in one motion. Do not think of hitting the ball, but let the ball get in the way. So I'm standing here, I go back, I follow through, everything's looking down the fairway at what I expect to be a great shot. Okay, we're at our last part, but one of the most crucial parts of the golf swing. We're going to be talking about the hand release. The release of the hands in the golf swing. Basically what we have here is a grip that is supposed to release the club for you, and most people don't know what a release is. If I said a release to somebody, they're going to think, well, that's when I whip my wrist. I'm going to do that to hit that golf ball. And that's incorrect. The release of the wrist is basically a rotation of your arms and wrist while you're swinging the golf club. So let's look at it this way. Let's take it up. I'm going to bring it up into this position so that we can take the club back and watch the hands rotate. Now, as I take the club back, my hands roll over into a position where it looks like they're open. Now let me point out something here. Many of you are thinking of this club face. I don't think about my club face too often because I know that the face and the back of my hand are pointing the same place. So if I take my hands and roll them this way, then I know the club roll that way. And then you're looking at it and it looks like it's wide open. And it is maybe. But what you want to do as you start back down into the ball, the hands roll back to the square position, and then they pass through and roll into a position that you might think is closed. Now, in professional lingo, this is square, square, square. But to you, it looks open, square, closed. And basically all we've got is a hand that went this way, rolled into the ball, and went this way without this little slap in the middle. So the key thing here is the release of the hands is not flipping the club, but it is a smooth rotation of the hands rolling open, rolling square, rolling shut, and you've got the finish. And now that golf ball doesn't take off to the right anymore. Got that nice little sweet draw going right down the middle. So what I want to do now, we've gone through it all. Marlene, why don't you come on over, and let's summarize this thing a little bit. The key is the natural, I believe, yes. And so let's talk about it just a hair here. We got the grip. It's very natural. We reach out. Both hands are facing each other, which is just common. The stance, very natural. You're standing here with your knees flexed, bent at the waist. Your arms are hanging. Shoulders are not tense. There's no tense bone in my body. I'm ready to swing. Next step is a natural backswing, which moves the club around my body. I coil, wind up. I'm over on this right side, ready to fire. And when I fire at the ball, the natural thing is to finish the swing and not hit at the ball. So I go from here through the ball, turn all the way through, shift my way through, and I'm standing here watching it go down the middle of the fairway with a little draw on it, Marlene, because I took my hands and rolled into that release and didn't let my hands flip over. Got that extra power and got that control on it.
Well, on the ladies, as you were talking about your stance, remember, we want to have the ladies have your stance the width of your shoulder. On the grip, the ladies must have the grip in the fingers of the left hand. A little stronger grip, remember, having both hands rotated slightly to the right or towards your right shoulder. The women, we want them to load up against that right leg. We want to get the shoulders behind the ball with some tension. And on the release, I take the whole right side and we turn and we're balanced and finished on the follow-through, and as they turn through and fire their whole side through, that's where they get all that distance.
That's it. And you know the key to it is the word that goes with natural is swing. You don't ever hit a golf ball, you swing a golf club. And if you'll just think, I'm going to naturally just swing this thing, then you're going to have all the fun and all the straight shots you want and more distance to make that game a lot easier. I'm so excited about this. You know, I've talked about it for a half hour or so. I'm going to have to hit some balls.
I know. I've got the bug, too.
Okay, let's go hit some.